As I was growing up, I watched like my dad hit my mum and everything. So I grew up in that sort of environment, like my dad being violent to my mum and everything. It really put me down. Like it made me to be like a shy person. I would keep myself away from talking to people. My parents got divorced when I was 5. When the Love School event was announced, my mum had already bought the tickets for like me, my mum, my sister, and she got an extra one for the boyfriend that she had at the time. He didn't want to come, but she still bought the ticket for him. When I found out that my dad was moving here, I decided to get his ticket. So I said, there's an event coming up near where you live, and I bought your ticket for you to come with us. So then when I let my mom know, she was really, really angry because she wanted her ex-boyfriend to be there with her. From the moment that the Love School was announced, that was like the journey that started for my family. I walked in through the side doors and I saw how many people there was here, and I was so amazed how many people wanted to know to get better in their love lives, to better their relationship. So I was really amazed about how many people there was. And also when Miss Christiani and Mr. Renato came in, it was really amazing because what they spoke really spoke to me about my parents' relationship.
It seems that people who are married and having problems, they only see two options. Either we're gonna live in this miserable marriage for the rest of our lives, or we'll separate. Hey, there's a third option. How about you focusing on solving the problems?
Well, I was sitting right here, my dad was sitting here, my mom was sitting here. When I got the ticket for my dad, she said to me, if you think that we're ever going to get back together, then forget it, because we're never going to get back together.
When you marry, you don't do what you set out to do. You know, you get married, you set out to be happy, to live a happy life, to make the other person happy. You marry with this dream in your head, but you end up not doing it, and instead you do what you have always learned, what you have always seen your parents do. You do what you know. And you never do what you don't know. So I didn't know how to deal with conflict in our marriage. I didn't know.
After the event, my dad started coming to the church that I was attending. He started understanding more about faith and everything. And my mum started to realize that maybe he was the right person for her, because she was also fighting for her love life. She wanted to have someone in her life, but she didn't accept it to be my dad.
People buy into this idea of Mr. Right, of Mrs. Right.
So she realized that maybe it was my dad, maybe God was putting my dad in her way. So she asked my dad if he was willing to take our family back. He said yes straight away. 10 years before, on my mum's birthday, my dad got arrested. So this year on my mum's birthday, my dad proposed to her and gave her an engagement ring. After that, my mum and my dad started to go out more, started to go out for dinner and things like that to speak to each other more, to get to know each other better. So then a few months after that, my parents got married. And on the day of the wedding, it was that was everything that I was waiting for.
Hello, a very good evening and welcome to Finding Answers. Love is such a special and important thing that even animals cannot live without love. If you have a pet, if you have an animal at home, then it's very likely that if you don't give your pet attention for a few hours, he starts behaving differently. Because even animals crave love. And we are not different, all of us, regardless of your age. If you are of a very young age, when you were very young, then you craved for your parents' love. You then develop and you crave to find a lifelong partner that you can share your life with, your good moments with, your bad moments with. And I don't believe that anybody who starts a relationship starts that relationship so that then it breaks up. No one gets married thinking, I'm going to be married for a few months and then get divorced. Everyone starts a relationship thinking that this relationship is going to work, thinking that they will make this relationship the best it can be. But if these are usually the intentions that people have with relationships, how come there are so many failed relationships right now? How come divorce rates are going up? How come perhaps you're watching me and with all the effort you've done and trying to do everything within your power to make a relationship work, how come that perhaps hasn't happened? That's what we're here to talk about today. How single are you? I mean, maybe you are single but you don't want to be. Maybe you are married but you behave as a single person. Maybe you are single but you want to get rid of that tag of being single, that label of being single, as quickly as possible. But maybe in spite of all your efforts, things haven't been going well for you. I want you to have a look at this video. I'll come back in just a moment to talk to Victoria, who's here with me as usual, and we're going to be talking about this topic.
It's often been asked, why is it that some people find themselves in loving, successful relationships while others struggle so hard to attract the love that they seek? Are some people really doomed to be unlucky in love? Dr. Richard Wiseman conducted a 10-year psychological study of more than 1,000 people. His research led him to conclude that people create much of their own good and bad luck through their thoughts, feelings, and actions. It seems that our beliefs create a self-fulfilling prophecy, so that if you believe that you are lucky in love, then you are. And if you believe that you are not, then you are not. It's been said that you attract the type of love that you think you deserve, and you will only be truly appreciated, loved, and supported when you can appreciate, love, and support yourself. Once you can accept that your love relationships reflect the love that you have for yourself, you have a fabulous and amazing tool. Self-confidence leads to relationship confidence. It all starts with you. Learn to radiate confidence, self-esteem, and self-belief. Recognize that whatever happened in your relationship, it's not a reflection of your worth as a person. Stop any negative or self-critical thoughts. You deserve a wonderful relationship. You are worth it. Keep telling yourself this. Don't act like a victim, and you won't feel like one.
Welcome back. Now, I want you to think of a very important question. If you have tried to invest all your strength in making a relationship work in your past, and it didn't, then the question is why? Why didn't it work? What went wrong? Because something went wrong, and you can't always blame the other person. A lot of people say, well, it was the other person's fault. Perhaps it was a lot of it their fault. But why is it that in spite of all your efforts, perhaps that hasn't worked? And you know what? A lot of times what happens is that if a person has had a string of unsuccessful relationships, they then either quit their love life completely, which was the case of these two people who are in the studio with me, who are now a couple, but individually before that's how they thought, or they turn their affection completely or their attention completely to something else that they know will not disappoint them. And I'm going to talk with Victoria about this. Good evening, Victoria.
Good evening.
Victoria, I was talking to someone this week who said, look, because I couldn't get any relationship to work, for 16 years I had a pet, and this pet was my life. I loved this pet. I invested all my time, spare time in making this pet happy, and it made me happy. And actually recently this pet died, and this person's world is like it collapsed. And it's many people put all their time and effort in looking after a pet because it won't betray them, investing in a career because a career, as long as you invest in it, will be there. But then that gap of not having someone there will always be there.
But people who have trust issues or have been badly burnt in the past by a previous relationship probably think that that gap of not having somebody to love is actually a far better feeling than putting their trust into somebody, because what they don't want to do and what they deep down think is going to happen is exactly the same that's happened to them in the past.
Yeah, and the thing is, no matter where you put your attention to or your efforts into, whether it's a career, whether it's a pet, it cannot fill the gap of that person. Because I have a pet, right? And I know that my pet loves me when I give him food. When I don't, or when someone else gives him food, then he loves them, right? That's how cats are. But with anything in life, it cannot fill the gap of someone who understands you, who loves you, who can talk to you. And some people have given up on love, put their emphasis on these things, but then one day it dawns on them that they've wasted their life and they haven't progressed in that. And the ideal thing is for people to deal with the issue.
Yeah, although easier said than done, but it is really very valuable for somebody who believes that they can't be loved. And it's usually not that they can't love somebody else. People who find it difficult to maintain relationships tend to damage the relationships themselves without realizing. So it is very, very useful to battle it head on and say, look, I want to love somebody, but I also want somebody to love me.
But the reality is that when people do this, they focus on something else other than the relationship. The truth is that they are alone still. You know, for a while they feel better, they feel fulfilled because they're focusing on something, but one day they wake up and say, my gosh, I spent 10 years focusing on this, 20 years, but I'm still alone, right? And that can be a very terrible thing to feel. You feel desperate because it's like you wasted 20 years of your life and you're still alone. And how do people cope with that? It's difficult.
Not very well, yeah. It's one of those things that can come at any age, especially in modern day society. People get divorced, people find relationships, online dating. So it's not something that generally happens with people in their 20s after they've been to university. People are now getting divorced at any age. So it really can come as an awful shock to people. If they wake up, they're 55, they're single, everybody around them is starting to have grandchildren, and yeah, it can be really distressing.
Now, we're going to put a question out on Facebook and Twitter right now. We're going to ask, can anything or anyone replace a relationship? Can you feel fulfilled by replacing a relationship with a pet, with a career? We're going to put that question out on Facebook right now, on Twitter right now. You can go onto our Twitter page or Facebook page and comment there. You're going to do that now?
I'll do that right now, absolutely. Okay. So if you do want to comment, then the address is @FindAnswersTV, and if you want to find us on Facebook, you just need to search Finding Answers.
Now, what I want to invite you to do today, if you're watching me right now and you've gone through the pain of a relationship that ended, and you've gone through that pain perhaps recently, perhaps many times in your life, and maybe you, like Victoria said, is that, how did you say, you got burned? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, so the saying is if you've been burned in the past.
If you've been burned in the past, maybe you feel like that and you don't even want to go close to another relationship. Not that you don't have love to give, not that you wouldn't appreciate having someone with you, but perhaps you've given up on love. Can you ever give up on love? Should you do that? Maybe you watch me now and you have these pictures around your living room, your bedroom, your computer, your phone, of someone who was in a relationship with you some time ago. You haven't let go of this yet, and you can't move on. And you just want to be happy. Maybe you say, James, sometimes I ask myself, is there something wrong with me? Could there be something wrong with me? Am I the only person on the face of the earth who won't be happy in my love life? Don't I deserve to be happy? And the answer is you do. You do deserve to be happy. Perhaps what you need is just to learn how to fix whatever, damages have been caused to your life because of this, and see where you went wrong. That's why we're going to have the Love School in a few weeks. I'll let you know more about this later. But if you want to speak to someone right now, because you say, look, I've sort of given up on relationships. Maybe you have someone that you are married to and the person left home and you're now by yourself, bringing up a family of, you have kids and you're by yourself. This person who vowed to be with you forever is no longer there. Maybe you went from having one broken relationship to a series of broken relationships. And it's not, perhaps you have this problem, which a lot of people have told me about. Actually, I want to talk to you about this, Victoria, because I've spoken to a lot of people who cannot be on their own. They have the need to constantly be in a relationship, and it's not a matter of rebound. It's if they are alone, they hate it, so they quickly try to find someone just so that they're not on their own. And that sometimes can be a problem because you never really address why all those relationships end.
That's exactly it. People who don't like spending time with themselves don't have to deal with themselves. So if you're with a large group of people, there's somebody always talking, you talk about other things, but you never truly sit on your own in a room and listen to what they would call your internal monologue. So you're self-thinking and even talking to yourself about your problems. People hate it sometimes, so they will just search for other attention and other people to talk about or talk to.
So you can answer the question on Facebook or Twitter now and tell us if you think that there is anything out there that can replace a relationship, a healthy relationship. But the other group of people I'm talking to, I'd like you to call in or send us an email. You that say, James, I've given up on love. I've had many broken relationships. I have bad luck in all my relationships. No matter what I do, it doesn't work. But you want to be happy. Deep down, you still believe that you can be happy. Then give us a call. The number is 020-7686-6300. That's 020-7686-6300. Or send us an email to help@findinganswers.tv. We're going to go into a break. I'm going to introduce you after the break to a couple, an amazing couple who's here with me now. And they started believing in love again because they dealt with the issues they had. But you're going to hear their amazing story right after the break.
The Chrissy B Show airs live on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, coming to your homes with entertainment, life issues as well as hard-hitting topics, coupled with friendly and practical advice. I love to look at the happier side of life and believe a person can achieve amazing things when they put their mind to it. The Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life.
When we want to reach our goals, we research, act, and make sure we know everything there is to know about that topic. We study hard because that is the intelligent thing to do. This is the same for our development as a Christian. The Faith School is designed for those who want a degree in spiritual growth, those who want to separate time to study the Holy Bible and follow God's path for their life. There is no admissions fee and it's suitable for every level of learner. You will learn how to interpret the Word of God for your daily life and become stronger internally. Do you want to find inner peace and spiritual strength? Then this course is for you. The Faith School, every Wednesday at your local UCKG Help Centre. For more information, call 020 7686 6000 or visit our website uckg.org.
Welcome back. I already have here sitting in the studio with me an amazing couple which you're going to get to know in just a moment, reminding you that you who are struggling with what we mentioned before the break, then feel free to give us a call. We have a team of pastors who are now ready to speak to you. The number is 020 7686 6300. That number will be rotating on the screen throughout the program with our email address, which is help@findinganswers.tv. And also our Facebook and Twitter page should you wish to leave a comment or question for us or the couple that are here. Let's meet now Joseph and Jennifer that are sitting here in the studio with us.
Pushing me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
Welcome back. So we're going to start with Jennifer. She's here right next to me. How are you, Jennifer?
I'm very well.
And welcome, Joseph, to the program as well.
Thank you.
We have to start with one of you. So I'm aware that you, Jennifer, you got to a point in your life where you never wanted to think of another man ever, or marriage or relationships.
Yes.
Why did you get to that point? What happened?
But I was in a relationship for about 29 years.
29 years, that's a long time.
Yeah, it was a long time. And, you know, when you're in a relationship that long, you start to get, you know, accustomed to, even if you're getting verbal abuse or violent, you start to get within that kind of system. So I was there for that while, trying to make the relationship work, really. And it started to get bad. From one stage to another, he became alcoholic, and from there, verbal abuse. You know, I wasn't working at the time, so there was no security, and the things really get very bad. And you know, I decided that this is something we'll have to give. So I gave him an ultimatum: if he don't change, we'll part. And he didn't change.
But how long? I mean, because you were there almost 30 years with someone, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when did you start seeing a problem with alcohol and the other problems you saw in the relationship?
Well, within that relationship, maybe about 15 years after.
So the first 15 years, would you say were okay?
Yes, it was very good.
Okay.
And then suddenly, just changed suddenly. And because of the alcohol and the smoking, it's a lot of combination of things, womanizing, everything.
So he was unfaithful to you?
Yes.
Okay.
So from there, I said, well, you know, I haven't seen my parents, you know, in a marriage like that. So I said, well, this can't be. This is not the way a marriage should be. So, you know, I spoke to him and we talked, he will change. And still he haven't changed. So I decided to make a decision.
But you, I mean, these things went on for about 15 years. Well, why did you put up with it for so long?
Because in our back home, you know, the cultures back home is that you have to try. You cannot divorce, you cannot leave from the relationship.
Try for 15 years is many times, right? You tried for a long time.
Very, very hard. But I had a daughter in a relationship also. So that kind of bring it even more closer, trying to bring her up in the right way is how I was brought up. Because I never see my parents fighting or anything like that. And I thought also that I could change the situation. Thought I had the power to do that, but every year it just keeps getting worse. And until it eventually I decided, well,
what was the worst point of the relationship before it broke off? What was the point that you couldn't take it anymore?
The worst part of that relationship is my daughter, she was about 19. And one day she said to me, she said, if you don't leave this relationship, I am going to leave the house.
Okay.
Because she couldn't take it either. Because you know, by that time she started to mature and growing up, seeing this happening and becoming worse. She wasn't able to cope with it.
Okay. I'm going to stop you there. We have a live caller. I want to see if I can take this call. Hi, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, who am I speaking to?
You speak with Lisa.
So, can you repeat that again?
Lena.
Lena, what do you want to say, Lena?
Basically, I want to say that it's possible you stay without a relationship, a love life for a while. I think the most important thing that a person should do before enter a relationship is to invest in ourselves first. And I think most of people don't invest in themselves and the self-esteem. And they just think the person has this responsibility to take to make them happy, you know.
Okay.
And this is the wrong part, you know. I think people should before they get into a relationship, they're supposed to have more self-knowledge of themselves, you know themselves first, you know, and try to, first of all, know their purpose in the world before entering the relationship, because if they don't do that, they just fool themselves.
Okay. So what you're saying is that you shouldn't look for someone to make you happy. You have to find out about yourself, find happiness, and then find someone, but you shouldn't be looking for someone to make you happy, right? You should be happy as a person before that happens.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for your call. Thank you. So, Jennifer, going back to what you were saying, when you left that relationship, I mean, you were there for 30 years. All of a sudden, you find yourself on your own with your daughter. What was that like? Was it scary being on your own?
Yes, it was. It's like one day you're together with somebody and the next day you just wake up and you're alone. And then I remember asking myself, I'm alone, how can I make it? I'm father and mother now. So yes, it was very frightful. But after I got that ultimatum, I really looked deep into it to see, because it's not my life alone, it's affecting her now. And I have a choice to make there.
Why did you get to the point of thinking, I don't want to be with anybody else anymore?
Because simply that relationship, that was the first relationship I ever had. And you know, first impression counts. So after that I said, well, I'm not going to do this. 30 years is a long time. That's half your life gone already. So I wanted to focus on other things, to build my life, because really I didn't have a life. I was more doing everything for him, not myself. So my life was based around him. So I didn't have no self-confidence. I didn't like myself, because the things that he say, I blame myself. For some of the things that he said.
Really? So even though he was the one drinking, the one cheating on you, you still blamed yourself for something?
Yes, you feel like you're useless. Maybe the things he's saying after a while, I started thinking, I said, maybe it's true.
So when it finished, you just thought, you know what, I'm going to just crack on with my life and look after my daughter, forget about relationships, I don't need that.
Yes.
Did you get to a point where you thought, okay, I think I need this, I need someone? Did you change your mind afterwards?
No, not really, no.
Okay. I'm going to talk to your husband now, Joseph. You had not the same experience, something slightly different. What was your case like?
My case is that I was married. I was married for about 6 years, about 6.5 years. The problem is that it wasn't too much of communication. It's just that the person didn't respect me. There's certain things that I wanted to do. You know, I'm a very ambitious person. For instance, the property that we was living in, I wanted to buy the property, and the person didn't want to buy the property. They didn't want to go forward in life. They just wanted to stay where they were.
So when you say they didn't respect you, give us an example. What do you mean? How did you feel disrespected?
Respect in a way, for instance, is like with money. Like I was paying the bills. I was giving her the money to pay the bills, and then I found out that she wasn't taking the money to pay the bills. And because everything was in my name, I had to go and borrow money from the bank to pay those bills. So in that terms of respect, you know, it was a case that you couldn't trust a person.
In a way, it's like a betrayal, because she lied to you about what she was doing.
Yeah.
And I imagine it's not because of the money, it's because you trusted someone, what they said, and they actually were doing something different.
For instance, it's like you're going out, you're working, and when you're working and you're bringing the money home, and there's certain things that has to be paid. You put so much trust in that person that you give them the money and he thinks everything's being done.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden you're getting letters saying that this bill hasn't been paid. And you said that, but I have paid it. I gave you the money. Then you end up phoning them and then they say, no, you haven't paid. And then when you're talking to the person, they said, oh, I used the money to do something else. And I said, you know, what did you use it for?
And you were unaware of all this?
I was unaware of that.
Why did that marriage end? What ended that marriage?
It ended when her daughter became very violent towards me. I'm not going to go into too much details. The police was involved, and when the police came, the police couldn't believe how the daughter was acting towards me.
Are you a violent person?
No, I'm not.
Is he a violent person?
No, he's not.
So it's not like you were violent and she was violent back to you. It's like you said, there was no respect there in the house. Now, I know I've dealt with a lot of men who have been disrespected, and I know how that destroys, how soul-destroying that is for a man. But how was it for you to be disrespected by the person who should have loved you and respected you the most?
It was very hard. I would say that it knocked my confidence. It knocked my confidence a lot because when I remember when I was to go to work, my boss called me inside and he said to me, Joe, your performance of work is not as good as it used to be. And then I opened up to him. I said, you know, that my marriage is not going well. I'm having a lot of problems in my marriage at the moment. So he said, okay, then. He was very understandable about that, but it doesn't knock your confidence because you feel like not only that you've been let down, it's very difficult to explain. It's like you're in a hole and you're trying to get out of that hole and you can't get out of that hole because the person that you loved and you trust, you know, is always putting you down, you know, saying that.
So she used to put you down?
Yeah, used to put me down.
When that marriage ended, did you think, like Jennifer, that you didn't want to get married, or you had hope that you would find someone and you would be happy?
I didn't want to be with anyone at all. I remember that when I was on my own, I was very happy that I was on my own. But at the time, I didn't want to go out and womanize because that wasn't in me. I said that, you know what, I just concentrate on other things, put all my energy into other things, and that's what I was doing.
Work?
Yeah, like with work, I was putting all my energy in work because my work started to get better. Not only that, my work started to get better. I took up music. I had a lot of interest in the music that I was doing and things.
So you started investing in yourself as a person, building your confidence.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go to a break, but when we come back, we're going to find out how you guys met and what changed your mind, Jennifer, because you didn't want anyone, but now you're married, so something must have changed.
Of course.
And you know, usually when the couple gets married, at the end of the ceremony, there's the kiss. You're going to see the kiss here at the end of the program, before we finish, after the prayer.
Okay.
We're going to see the kiss, right?
Yeah, sure.
On live TV. So don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back.
The UCKG Helpline Call Centre is open 24 hours a day, every day of the week, all year round. If you need help due to a serious problem you may be going through, if you feel that you have nowhere to turn to and desperately need someone to lend a listening ear, then we can help you. It doesn't matter who you are or what you have done, your religion or race, your call will be answered by someone who genuinely cares about you and has your best interests at heart. We also arrange home visits for the housebound and hospital visits for anyone in great need of kindly human contact. Whether it is simply information you want or desperately need someone to talk to, we're here for you on 0207 686 6000.
Years Love School is graduating to the next level of understanding how to hold on to a relationship. But maybe you've been asking, can the Love School really be for you? Let's find out. We love each other, but we can't stand being in the same room anymore. Yes, it is for us. If you're not careful, your frustrated marriage could turn into a non-existent one. But the Love School will sort you out. Hosts Renato and Chris have helped people who were even on the brink of divorce. So, if you're looking for help on how to solve your problems and bring back the excitement to your marriage, don't miss out.
So they only see two options. Either we stay in a bad marriage and suffer miserably for the rest of our lives, or we separate. Hey, there's a third option. How about you focusing on solving the problems? How about you deciding, okay, we are having problems, but let's use our intelligence, let's use our heads and solve this, because nobody's perfect.
Come along for a Sunday afternoon of entertainment and new ideas at the SSE Arena in Wembley on the 28th of September at 2 p.m. No matter what your love status, the Love School really is for you. Tickets are on sale now and seats are selling fast. Pick up yours at your local UCKG branch. Call us on 020 7686 6050 or visit us online at theloveschoolevent.com.
Hello and welcome back to Finding Answers. Now tonight the topic is Born to be Single. Now I'd just like to talk about what the caller mentioned that we had live about 5 minutes ago. Now she actually said that you need to love yourself before you can move forward and love or find a relationship with somebody else. And it's actually very interesting because I did find something that's called the cycle of love. So at the top of this circle or cycle is about loving yourself. And once you're able to do that, you then move forward to the second stage, which I just assumed would mean that you can love other people. But actually the second stage of that cycle is that you allow people to love you. So it goes, you love yourself, you allow people to love you, then you can love somebody else, and then goes back to loving yourself more. So it's a really nice cycle, and that's called the cycle of love.
And loving yourself, Victoria, it's part of what Joseph said earlier, to invest in yourself, because when that marriage broke down, he started to invest in his music, in his work, in his personal interests. And we were just discussing this here during the break, that when you have self-confidence, you become attractive, right, to the opposite sex. That confidence is a very attractive factor in someone. You actually, most people will tell you that a woman who's looking for a man is looking for a man who's confident, who's sure of himself, who knows what he wants, and that's a very important quality. So very, very important point what Victoria just said now. So going back to you, Joseph, or actually let me ask, first of all, you, Jennifer, what changed your mind? You didn't want anyone, all of a sudden you're married. What happened?
Well, for a long time I was single. And then I came to the church. And when I came to the church, I realized that to be in a relationship is very important. It's a very important part of your growth and development in your life. And so I took the advice. You know, it wasn't just like that. I said no in the beginning. I don't want to go back there. I've got a bad, relationship. And I explained what had happened to me. And still, the pastor at that time, he said, no, you can try. We have got a program that we do with young single people. You could come and try and invest and learn something. So I decided to take it up. And then from there, I went to the therapy of love for about 3 years, fighting. Then I started to get encouragement to fight because I realized it wasn't really important. Because usually when I go home, it was me alone in a country that I didn't have much friends. So I started to see the importance.
Is that where you met this young man next to you?
Yes.
In the love therapy meeting. So you met him. By then your frame of mind had changed because you wanted to have someone. Now, you guys had very destructive relationships before. What's the difference between the relationships you had before and this relationship now, which is blessed by God, which is, you know, how is your relationship, your marriage now?
Yeah, marriage is blessed. We married for 7.5 years now, and it feels like over 30 years.
But in a good way, I hope.
In the best way possible. I even forget if I had that 30 years that I've lost. This is what God does. When you put Him as the foundation in any relationship or in anything, this is the results you get. We understand each other, we talk to each other, there's communication, effective communication, we share everything together, and it's just build you from inside.
Now, Joseph, before you said you felt disrespected.
Yeah.
How do you feel now?
I'm very, very, very much respected now. I could talk to Jennifer. I could talk to her about anything. I could give her my money, give her my credit cards, give her anything, and
give her. Many women will say, "I want someone like that, someone who will give me the credit cards."
Yeah, I do handmade jewelry. I make her stuff. You know,
that's your job, handmade jewelry.
Yeah. My confidence is sky's the limit. I believe that I can achieve anything. You know, it's very important with the person that you got next to you. You know, because that person, you know, that God has given you that person, and that person loves you, and it's very difficult to explain that when somebody loves you, you know, it's much more than trust. You know, it just takes you to a next level. You know, it's very difficult to explain that next level. You just believe that when you're doing things, you don't have to worry. You just go and you put your all in it, because you know that when you come to your partner, if you're stuck in anything and you talk to her, and you know, she give you that encouragement to, you know, keep on fighting.
So she does that. She encourages you.
Yes, she encourages me a lot. You know.
Now, just a question, Jennifer. Imagine someone is watching us now and has had either one broken relationship or many broken relationships, and they say, like you used to think, they say, look, love is not for me. I was born to be single. I was born to be on my own. You know, marriage is not really for me. What would you have to say to them?
I would tell them, no, they're wrong. Because God didn't make us to be alone. He made everyone with a partner. You just have to find that right person. Do the right things, as I did. And yes, it's going to be hard, because you will tell yourself, I don't want to go back into a relationship. The same thing might happen again. But you have to trust. You have to start trusting and believing in yourself. Love yourself first, and then you'll be able to love someone else.
Is it better to be alone or to be with
No, it's not
Joseph?
Better to be alone. It's better to have someone like Joseph.
That's great. You know, at the end, we're going to get one camera to zoom in on both of you for the kiss, because that's going to be the final shot of tonight's program. Okay,
that'd be great.
You have to watch that. Don't go anywhere. We're going to go into our last break. When we come back, I'll be here with one of our pastors, Pastor Alvaro, and we'll be dispelling one more myth of love. Don't go anywhere.
Many people struggle to believe in true love. To some, love is but a fairy tale, a myth, a movie. All couples have differences, but what happens when those differences push them apart? When the spark in the relationship dies down, what happens next? Introducing the Therapy of Love, a weekly session that is open for anyone who is searching for love. Our aim is to assist singles and couples in finding love and a lifetime of happiness together. We provide advice and helpful sessions for anyone searching for true love. Don't settle for an unhappy relationship. Take charge of your love life, build up your confidence, and find the right person for you. Saturday, 7 p.m, only at the Rainbow Theatre. For more information, call 020-7686-6000 or visit our website, thetherapyoflove.com.
Welcome back. We started yesterday a part of our program called Dispelling the Myths of Love. Let's see what the myth of love is today.
I feel like I've known him or her all my life.
Now, how many times have you heard that sentence? Someone said, look, I met this person, but we've only been talking for a week, but I feel like I've known him or her all my life. I think this is the person for me. We have this connection. And actually, these are the people that usually a few months later come back really disappointed, saying, this person was not what I expected. And the truth is that no matter how well you get on with someone when you first start talking to them, you don't know them all your life. You may feel like you do, but the truth is you might have some very bad surprises. So before you actually get onto a relationship with this person, don't trust the feeling that you know them all your life, because that feeling is wrong. I guarantee you that. I usually say if you want to get to know someone before you start a relationship with them, get a microscope out and put the person under the microscope. Examine everything about this person's character before you make a commitment to start something, because you might later regret it. So all these feelings, yesterday we spoke about love at first sight. We said it doesn't exist. I'm not going to explain that again, but it doesn't. And this feeling of, I feel I've known him all my life, again, it doesn't exist. You have to know him. Don't feel like you've known him. Do you agree with me, Pastor Alvaro?
Exactly, 100%.
Good evening, by the way. Good evening.
Oh, hi. Hello, everyone. James, and you know that there are people who say that they feel comfortable when somebody's talking to them, especially when men, women usually say that, especially when men come with a bouquet of roses or trying to conquer their hearts. And as you said, they have to be very careful with their emotions. We have to examine thoroughly, because many people make huge mistakes by going by their emotions.
You tore the clothes of your wife.
No, let's not talk about this now. I thought that this would...
You tore the dresses and the coats of your wife. Did you know that Pastor Alvaro, before he learned about the Love School, he tore that red coat?
Yes,
right?
yes.
But you're not going to tell us about this today. Can you be here tomorrow?
Well, I wouldn't mind, definitely. I can be here.
So tomorrow, usually we have another pastor here with us, but we're going to have you, because you're going to hear his story tomorrow, why he tore the dresses and the coat of his wife. There was a reason why. We have to get to the bottom of this. Because maybe she felt she knew you all her life. She didn't.
No, she didn't. And of course, there was a root there. And
but we're not going to talk about it today, please.
Yes, no, I'm not going to talk about the root, but I'm going to talk about what helped me, later on to understand why I took such actions, because sometimes people think that they know why they do certain things, or they know why, they act in certain ways. But it was the Love School, that helped me not only with this event, later on, but with many other, problems I had.
It would be nice if your wife could be here with you tomorrow as well.
Yeah, I'll try. I'll even try to be here myself as well.
Yes,
I'll do my best.
I'm not going to promise, but I'm going to do everything I can to bring them both here, because then we can reserve the last 15 minutes of the program to talk about it. It would be interesting.
Yeah, for you it would be. But that's not a problem. If this is going to help people, that's why we're here.
Let's see if we can make that happen, but I'm pretty sure we can. Now, I have here in my hands the ticket for the Love School, which will happen on the 28th of September. I think we have another call. Let me see if we have time to take this call. If we do take this call, we might not have time for the prayer. Let's see. Hi, good evening.
Hello.
Hi, who am I speaking to?
Speaking to Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, what do you want to say, Emmanuel? Hello, hi.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, what do you want to say, Emmanuel?
Yeah, I just wanted to share with you my life experience.
But it has to be very quick. We only have a few minutes left in the program.
Okay. What I wanted to say is, nobody, what I believe, is meant to be alone, because God himself promised that he was going to find everybody, a person of his life or her life.
Right.
So if you are someone who is respectful, then God will definitely find someone of your choice, someone who is also respectful, someone who is also faithful.
Okay.
So with all of us, we have to always be faithful to God, trusting Him and wait on His time. Most of us, we rush into relationships thinking that when I'm 20, probably I have to have a boyfriend or maybe a partner or maybe a fiancé by this time. We don't have to put timetables to God.
Okay, so
what
basically...
What we have to do is always rely on Him, and He will surely come on your aid one day when it's right for Him.
So basically you're saying that there is someone for everyone, right?
Yeah, God, He promised it from Genesis. He said, even when He was giving Adam He said, I will give you a nice partner. And Adam,
let me ask you a question. Are you going to be at the Love School?
I'm not sure because I was just watching, so I will be there definitely on 28th. I've just seen an advert.
Okay, but thanks for calling, and don't hang up yet because our colleagues are going to speak to you to tell you more about the Love School. Okay, thank you so much for calling. Now I have in my hands, as I was saying, the ticket for the Love School. I have here the ticket wallet, and I want to invite you, if you want to know more about this event that can truly change your relationship, your perception and understanding of how to make a relationship successful, then give us a call. We still have a few minutes before the end of the program. The number is 020-7686-6300, and our pastors there will be able to tell you more about it, or send us an email to help@findinganswers.tv. And I think we might not have time for the prayer tonight because we were taking on some calls, but we are going to have time for that kiss that we promised with the couple that's here. And I just want to say, Alvaro, something very important for people to understand at home is that, you know, we learn about anything in life. We learn, you know, if you want to be a mechanic, you learn how to deal with cars, how to fix cars. If you want to go to live in a new country, you learn a new language. But people don't seem to learn about love. They seem to feel their way through love. And actually it's important to learn how to make love a successful area of their lives.
Because the main problem, James, is that we learn since we are kids that love is connected to emotions only. And whenever we think about the word love, we think about a heart. Yes or no? You know, when I was a kid, we used to draw hearts and love and write love.
And the arrow in the heart.
Arrow in the heart, exactly. But we understand today that we need to love intelligently. In other words, we cannot let our hearts be the one to dictate or tell us what we have to do. And the reason why many relationships are failing is because people are going by their emotions, by their hearts.
I was listening to something that the speakers of the Love School said in one of the programs this week. It's very important with what you said now, that you can't think with your heart. Because imagine an architect looking at a building and saying, I have a feeling that this beam I was going to put on the 5th floor will hold the weight of the rest of the building. I have a feeling it will. I'm not going to do any calculation, but I think I sort of get the feeling it will. Buildings will be collapsing left, right, and center. Imagine
all
that.
the time.
You can't do that. You have to think about it. And the same thing is love life.
Exactly. With love life, people have to understand this. Yes, there is the feeling there. And it's important to feel, right? How could I love my wife without feeling anything for her? But we need to understand that we need to always go by our mind, especially when we are having arguments or when things are not working the way we want. Always we have to think, what should I say? Or is this the right word for me to say right now? And of course, whenever there is, an intelligent conversation, couples always, get to a common answer. Absolutely. And they make amends there.
If you want to have more information about the event, give us a call or send us an email. Pastor Alvaro, you will be here with us tomorrow with your wife?
James, I can promise you that I'll be here on Thursday. Tomorrow I have an appointment and I cannot change.
No, but Thursday I won't be here. It has to be when I'm here.
We have to get into an agreement.
Okay, let's do something. Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, even better. So people can invite people to watch the program.
Next Tuesday, we're going to save 15, 20 minutes at the end of the program to hear the episode where Pastor Alvaro tore the dresses and
so you had to mention this live now. See, now I'll have to tell you what happened.
But it's going to be very helpful for those who are watching at home.
For sure.
Now, we won't have time for the prayer because we were taking the calls, but let's get a zoom in of the couple, Rebecca there in the camera, Now, that's going to be the last image you're going to see in tonight's program. Is going to be the kiss from this lovely couple who once had given up on love, but today they are happy. So what I want the production team to do is, you know, when they're doing the kiss, as soon as the kiss comes onto the screen, then you guys put the last credits on and the program is over. God bless you. Have a wonderful evening. Go ahead. Great. Okay.